Don't forget, robots are people too. On May 31st, 2016, the European Parliament received a draft report from the Commission on Legal Affairs, and it was all about robots. The report is actually pretty cool. One of the things it focuses on is the concept of liability. Who is at fault if a robot injures someone or damages property? They said that depending upon the level of automation and autonomy, the robot may be more responsible than the creators. Here's the thought process. If a robot can only do the tasks that it's been programmed to do, you would say the creators are at fault for any damage because the robot is essentially just a tool. But let's say the robot can use machine learning and artificial intelligence to adapt to its environment. Well, some environments might be more chaotic with a lot more variables at play, and the robot's behavior in order to complete a task might be something beyond which anyone would have predicted. In those cases, the robot is at fault. Great, so now we know who to blame. Now what? Well, says the report, never fear, we have come up with an answer for this. If a robot is to blame, the robot must pay for its crimes. How do you do that? How do you make a robot pay? Well, the report has some answers for this too. First, there should be some sort of classification system for robots. If they reach a certain threshold of sophistication, they must be registered with the European Union. Secondly, they suggest a required insurance plan where the manufacturers have to pay insurance for the robots they make. It's kind of like car insurance, except the manufacturers are the ones paying, not the owners. Or you could always pay the robots.
Have you got my money? Tell me where's my money? Need to get my money.
For serious, they suggest paying the robot's wages. Now, this isn't so the robot can save up for a swingin' robo-pad. No, it's really meant to create a compensation fund in case it goes on a robo-rampage further down the road. The draft report also suggests the idea of granting robots a status of personhood, or maybe a new category that hasn't been invented yet. So why would you ever want to call a robot a person? Is it because they're getting so sophisticated that artificial intelligence is making them self-aware? Not quite. Again, it's really more for the benefit of we humans and not so much for the robots. What happens if robots and automation start to replace more jobs than they create? Right now, that doesn't seem to be the case, but that might change in the future. And there are certain systems we have in place, like Social Security, that depend on employment taxes, and they could become under or defunded if we don't have enough people in the workforce. The report actually suggests that robot owners, business owners that use robots and automation, pay into Social Security as if human employees themselves were in those positions. There's a lot more to this report. It actually encourages the EU member states to consider a general basic income, a topic we've covered in a previous episode of Forward Thinking. It also suggests that robots should be easily identifiable as robots. Now, this isn't necessarily saying we don't want androids walking around where you're fooled into thinking it's another person. You might not want a robot that looks like a lamppost or a tree. You want a robot that looks like a robot so you know how to interact with it. The report itself isn't legally binding. It's more of a message to the EU saying, hey guys, we really need to talk about this. And that's what we've been saying here on Forward Thinking for years. We really need to talk about it. So while you might think it's kind of funny for a report to come out and talk about robots as people while your Roomba is banging into the wall over and over again, I'm really excited to see people take a serious stance and think proactively about these issues. What do you guys think? Is it time for us to consider robots as persons or something similar? Or are we way off from that day? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks to Toyota for sponsoring our show and making it possible. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that little like button down there for me, would you? Also, join the Forward Thinking Think Tank by subscribing to our channel. And then after all that, check out these other amazing videos about the future right over here.